All right, it's time for the Walrus and Comic Monday recap with just a comic. It's just me. Monday, September 21st, 8 days away from the MLB playoffs, but we'll get to that in a second. First, I want to talk about Sunday night football, the Patriots and the Seahawks, because this was rare. I think the coaching lost this game, and that's weird. That usually never happens. But Cam Newton looked good. Cam Newton looked like 2015 Cam Newton. That was really, 30 for 44, 397 yards, one touchdown, one interception, 47 rushing yards, and two touchdowns. So three touchdowns, over 400 yards, and there was just a couple of questionable calls in the second quarter. Late in the second quarter, there was a 3rd and 8, and they decided to do a weird pitch, kind of forward pass pitch to Burkhead that didn't really go for much. And there were other. It seemed like in this game that that Belichick maybe didn't trust Cam Newton enough yet to let him be the guy, but that cost him. Not trusting him to be the guy cost this team, because you lose by 5 points, and you had a couple of things, and on that 3rd and 8, that weird play call caused you to miss a field goal where it could have been. Who knows what it could have been? It was just strange. But Cam Newton, the takeaway from that is, even though the Patriots lost, Cam Newton is old Cam Newton. The Patriots are going to be good. The Seahawks are good. We might have seen last night the Super Bowl. We may get a Patriots Seahawks rematch from a few years ago in the Super Bowl, because that was a good game. The Chiefs had a weird day. They won. They went into overtime with the Chargers. But that game to me just showed that, a good team is one that can have a bad day and still win, and they did. Looking through the records, I want to do most surprising 2-0 team and the most surprising 0-2 team. All right, and I'm looking through, and most surprising 2-0, I just have to say the Rams, because I didn't know much. I didn't know much about them. I didn't know anything about them going into this season, and they are 2-0. They won their first two games, and that is strange to me. The Eagles are not that good, so that is an easy win. The Cowboys, I don't think they are great. I don't know if they're a playoff team. They struggled against the Falcons and won. The Falcons kind of gave it away, so they're not great. But I'm still going with them as the most surprising, but maybe not two great wins. But I didn't even think they would do that, so I'm surprised they're 2-0. And that's enough to make my list. This is my show. All right, this is my thing. Most surprising 0-2 team, the Vikings. Jesus Christ. The Vikings are awful. And I didn't think they would be awful. I thought they would be a playoff team. And Kirk Cousins, 3 interceptions yesterday. What are they paying him? $80 million, $85 million now? Wow. Good contract. Good sign. I've always questioned that one, but now it's just to the point where you lost that money. You may go. Maybe they bounce back and have an 8-8 season. You're 0-2. 8-8 is the best I could see the Vikings doing the way they look. yesterday, the way they looked week one, they're not a very good team. So, and now you have to you got to eat that contract, and that sucks. You got to watch Kirk Cousins do what he did the first 2 weeks for a lot of money. He's playing really bad for a lot of money. So, yeah, because I'm a Packers fan. And all the 1-1 teams get off the fence. Make a decision. Be a winning team. Be a losing team. Make a choice. Get off the fence. And now that's pretty much it for the NFL. I mean, it's only week 2. There's not much going. We still don't know a lot about any of the teams that hadn't gone long enough to know a ton. We know the Seahawks are good. We know the Patriots, even though they're 1-1, they're good. The Vikings aren't. The Giants aren't. The Bears had a weird game. They beat the Giants 17-13, where the first half it looked like they were just going to really, really beat the Giants. I mean, just destroy them. And then in the second half, they just turned off. They didn't do anything. They just kind of coasted to a win. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if you think the Jets adjustments or whether the Bears just are not a second half team or what. Like I said, we don't know enough about any of the teams, but 17-0 at halftime, the Bears winning. And then the final was 17-13. So, I mean, Chicago just came out in the second half and did nothing. So, they were fortunate to come away with a win, but they're 2-0. Maybe that's the most surprising 2-0 team, the Bears. Because, they just didn't look very good, even though they won in the second half. MLB, well, let's do NBA first, because you know what happens when you're down by 5 in the fourth quarter and you miss 5 free throws. You probably lose that game. And even they took it anyway. They took that being down by 5, missing 5 free throws, and they came back and took the lead anyway. You shouldn't have after 5 missed 3 free throws, but you did. So good job. But then what ends up happening when you don't execute is you end up only up by 1 with 2.1 seconds left. And Lakers throw it in on their side, and Anthony Davis putting down the big 3. So that was a fun game to watch. The Nuggets could have got it done, but the execution we saw from them at the end of the last 2 series, I mean, where just everything they threw up seemed to fall. I mean, coming down from 2-3-1s, and maybe they'll do that again. I would like to see that again, but I think this is just a case where they weren't supposed to get this far, and the shots that were falling for them are just gonna are not gonna work anymore. I think the magic might have run out for the Nuggets. I hope not. I would love to see another 3-1 comeback. Maybe they win Game 3. Lakers win Game 4. Make it 3-1 and let the Nuggets do what they seem to be able to do in elimination games. That would be fun. Celtics and Heat. I haven't watched much of that series. I haven't watched any game in that series. So I'm just going to say I think the Celtics are going to win. I think they're the better team. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably am. Now, this is what I really wanted to get to. Baseball. Because, let me see if I can pull the standings up right now. Yesterday, the Braves beat the Mets 7-0. And the Twins beat the Cubs 4-0. And what that did was that tied the Braves and the Cubs for the number 2 spot in the playoffs. The playoffs happen next Tuesday. That's happening in 8 days. So we look at the NL right now. Let's go to league standings. And we know the Dodgers are going to make it. We know the Cubs are going to make it. We know the Braves are going to make it. We know. We know the Padres are going to make it. Those 4 teams are in. But now you still have 4 other spots that are contested by just a couple of games with 6, 7, 8 games left. And you have the Marlins that have a 4-game series with the Braves that are only safe by a couple of games. And they probably have the toughest road to the playoffs, even though they are in 5th right now. They have the toughest road because they have a 4-game series with the Braves starting tonight, and then they end with 3 against the Yankees. So they're playing against 2 of the hottest teams right now, and they're 28 and 25. Next is St. Louis at 26 and 24. I'm going to expect them to get in. They're playing all right. I think the Phillies miss out. The Phillies are at 27 and 26. Cincinnati Reds 27 and 27. Milwaukee 26 and 26. San Francisco 26 and 26. So those are the teams in that race. We'll say somehow Marlins will give you a pass. And let's talk about St. Louis through San Francisco. 26, 27, 27, 26, 26. If I had to pick one team from this to be eliminated, it would probably be the Reds, because looking at point differentials, man, Miami might not survive this. They're minus 26. And I don't think the Reds will survive it. But I don't feel good about the Phillies either. Jeez. So this will be a good week for baseball. The new 16-team playoff, 8 from each division. And the race, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams separated by 2 games, and there's only 4 spots. So this will be a fun week for baseball. And in the American League 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams are in. And 29 wins. The Indians, I will say, the Indians are in. Yeah, I mean, the American League is decided. No real reason to watch the American League. You have Tampa Bay, Chicago, Oakland, Minnesota, New York, Cleveland, Toronto, Houston. There's your 8. And then the separation between the Astros and the Mariners are 27 and 23. So, I mean, that is decided. So if you're watching baseball this weekend, you're watching it for a playoff race, it would be the National League, because it's just a lot more going on. It's going to be a good week. I think the Braves take 3 out of 4 against the Marlins and really put the Marlins in a bad spot going into the weekend versus the Yankees. Let's see who the Phillies play. Let's see the Phillies' path the rest of this month. They have the Nationals and the Rays. They'll be in danger next weekend. They play 3 against the Rays. That's not going to be good for them. That might be a sweep, because the Rays are really good. The Cardinals, we'll see the Cardinals. They play the Royals. That'll be good for them. And they play the Brewers. That'll be all right for them. The Cardinals, we'll say, are safe. But that will either get the Cardinals or the Brewers in. Whoever wins that next weekend series will be fighting for the last spot. The Reds, the Brewers and the Twins, they are in danger. So right now, of these 6 teams in 4 spots, the Reds are probably are going to have the biggest trouble, because they play the Brewers and the Twins, and those are 2 teams. The Brewers 20, 26-26. And they're going to be playing for a playoff spot. The Reds are 27-27. They have the biggest. They got the biggest hill, I think. I mean, the Marlins have the Braves and the Yankees, but they're a better team. The Reds are not that good of a team, and they have 7 tough games, so that really puts them in danger. Sports are just really Braves. I had baseball. I had the most to say about because you're getting close to the playoffs. You got this big playoff run coming this week. Verlander is out for the Astros. He had to have Tommy Johns. That hurts for them. I think that it puts them. They're safe making the playoffs, but I think they're not. They might not go past the first round. They don't have Verlander or trash cans this season. The NFL just getting started. We don't know who's good, who's not. The Packers look good. The Bucks look shaky. They have some problems. I had them pick and go 10-6 as a wild card team. I don't think they're better than the Saints. They're not a very good second half team. They really struggled against the Panthers yesterday in the second half. But I think Tom Brady gets acquainted with this offense, gets it going. He figures out some stuff, and he turns it on towards the second half of the season. I think they go 500 for a run and then finish 10-6. The Titans look all right. The Bills look good. 49ers are all right. They had a lot of injuries yesterday. But luckily for them, they were playing the Jets. I mean, it's always a good day to have an injury or to have a bad day when you're playing the Jets. You can afford all that. Chiefs had a bad day. Ravens are good. Seahawks are good. So, I mean, everything really looks right now like, you could have called it. Every team that should be on top is on top, except for maybe the Vikings. The Cowboys really don't look good. They got a weird win yesterday. Other than that, I think the biggest takeaway from yesterday is Cam Newton. And Cam Newton looks like 2015 MVP Cam Newton. He looked really good last night. He looked all right in week 1. Gained a little bit more trust from Belichick. Come to last night, obviously doesn't have enough because they didn't use him as much as they should have, and that caused the loss. I think it caused the loss. A few bad coaching decisions, which is rare on Belichick, cost them in Sunday Night Football. And that sucks because they could have had it. Should be 2-0. Should have had a huge win against the Seahawks. Looked really good. Everything was working. Just didn't do enough. And I think that's it for the weekend recap. Real short weekend. College football is just getting started. Not everybody's playing. SEC play starts Saturday. Big Ten play starts in October. Big 12, I don't know if they're doing much. They don't look that good. Oklahoma State struggled. The best football has really come out of the little conferences. I'll be watching Coastal Carolina a lot this season, the Sun Belt. I think it'll be good for college football Saturday. The big slate of SEC football games will be something. It might not be great because there's not a lot of great games on. I think the best one is South Carolina and Tennessee. Tennessee favored in that one, 3.5 points. And then the rest of them are just really tune-up games for the big SEC teams. So that's good. It's not going to be a great week, but it'll be one of the better weeks we've had. Week 3 will be probably the best to this point because, you have Oklahoma and Kansas State. That won't be close. Florida and Ole Miss, I doubt will be close. Auburn and Kentucky could be a good game. Louisville and Pittsburgh will be a good game. LSU and Mississippi State might be a good game. Army and Cincinnati, I don't know. Oklahoma State and West Virginia, we saw Oklahoma State struggle. Georgia and Arkansas won't be close. Alabama, Missouri won't be close. Texas A&M and Vanderbilt won't be close. Miami and Florida State, I doubt it'll be close. North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, could be a good game. So I mean, it's been a weird season. This is week 4, and college football hadn't been great yet. It's been a weird year. Maybe it'll get great Saturday. Not a lot going on, but that's your Monday morning recap. Kind of a short one here. Not a lot. The biggest thing being the playoff race this week in baseball, and Bill Belichick just dropping Sunday Night Football. Other than that, join us Wednesday night on Twitch for our NFL, our picks. That'll be at Twitch at Pontiff Pilot. That'll be in the description. And join us every Saturday night for our weekly Walrus and Comic streams. And I'll be right back here on YouTube every Monday morning for the Monday morning recap. This has been your first one. It's been a short one. And we'll see you Wednesday night on Twitch.